Welcome everyone, folks, to the NASCAR MDK Prerace show. I'm your host, Jeff Krause, and welcome back to another episode here on NASCAR and MDK. Finally, I'm doing another one of these videos, but today will be the final race of the round 16 as the Monster-Miami NASCAR Cup Series heads to Dover National Speedway for the running of the Apache Warrior 400. Like I said, 4 drivers will be eliminated from the championship contention at the end of this race. And before I want to move on to anything, on the bottom of your screen will be like a ticker that will show up-to-minute news and notes on not only just NASCAR, but on Formula 1 and IndyCar as well. And on, Xfinity, trucks, even the Series X Cup Series I'm doing will all be, stuff that will be there to fill you in on things that I won't be able to talk about in this video. But right now, let's head into the news at the track. The first one we're going to talk about is coming from NASCAR. NASCAR announced that they will not be putting any penalties or anything into burnouts. For those of you who don't know, a lot of drivers like Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch, those type of drivers have been, when they do burnouts, they would the right rear tires will blow out, causing the left rear or right rear corner panel to have damage, which that part of the car is very sensitive to downforce and aero, and it could play a role if you can win the race or not. So they're not going to do anything this year, but they might look into it next year. So we'll see what happens after the end of the season. See if NASCAR will do anything to maybe kind of tell these guys, hey, don't blow out your tires so you might get a penalty. But, I mean, there's really only two things we're going to talk about. The next one coming from Alex Bowman. For those who don't know, Alex Bowman will replace Dale Earnhardt Jr. following the end of the 2017 season. Earnhardt Jr. announced his retirement from NASCAR on April 25th. Well, it was just announced that Bowman will drive 2 races for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, taking over the 42 car in the Charlotte and Phoenix in the fall races. So maybe to give him some seat time for him to be ready when he goes into the Cup Series next year full time. Now let's head into the track facts of this race. Those who don't know, Dover National Raceway, it is the second track in the Monster-Miami NASCAR Cup Series that is completely made out of concrete. It's 1 mile in length, 4 turns as usual. The banking turns are 24 degrees, while the straights are 9 degrees. And the lap record was set by Brad Keselowski in 2014. Now the stages will be 120 each for stage 1 and stage 2, while stage 3 has 160, making up a total of 400 laps for 400 miles. Now let's take a look at the odds to win Dover National Speedway. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. And as usual, what a surprise, you got Martin Truex Jr. on the top of the board with a 3-to-1 chance, but then you got a teammate affiliate of Kyle Busch with a 4-to-1 chance, as well as Kyle Larson. Jimmy Johnson, the one who has dominated Dover, with an 8-to-1 chance, as well as Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski with a 12-to-1 chance. Then second page comes in, Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth both with a 12-to-1 chance of winning. Chase Elliott and Joey Logano, as well as Ryan Blaney with a 22-to-1 chance. Eric Jones with a 25-to-1 chance. Then you got one of the long shots, Kurt Busch, who needs to have a good run, most likely maybe win this race in order to move on. He has a 30-to-1 chance. His teammate Clint Boyd a 50-to-1 chance, as well as Jimmy McMurray. Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman 60-to-1 and 75-to-1. Dale Jr. in his final Dover start with a 100-to-1 chance. And these are the final 3 drivers that most likely will not win. Casey came with a 100-to-1 chance. Austin Dillon with a 125-to-1 chance. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with a 150-to-1 chance. And now with that out of the way, let's crunch the numbers to see which driver you should look out for at Dover. Now you cannot talk about Dover National Speedway without talking about the man who has been able to tame Miles the Monster, Jimmy Johnson. Of his 31 races, he is the most successful driver to ever race at Dover National Speedway. He has scored 11 wins at this racetrack, 16 top 5, 22 top 10s, with an average start of 10th and an average finish of 9th, with an astounding 3,100 laps led. And even though Toyota has dominated the season and the first 2 races of the playoffs, don't count out the number 48 car racing at Dover. Martin Truex Jr. has easily dominated the 2017 season so far, with having a combined total of over 59 playoff points. He's heading into one of his favorite racetracks, which is also his home track. Over the last 23 starts over his career, he has scored 2 career wins, including his first win of his career, which came in the summer of 2007.
Junior's going to win his first Nextel Cup race. Truex wins the Autism Speaks 400.
The 7th different winner in 7 races here at Dover.
Since then, he has scored 3 top 5 starts, 12 top 10s, an average start of 12th, an average finish of 13th, and has led over 690 laps, or 694 to be exact. Now, he is the defending winner of this race, dominating last year's event, and hoping to go 2 in a row to continue the domination in the playoffs. Let's take a look at some drivers that you should either look out for, be careful of picking, and a dark horse for this race. Let's start with the driver you should watch out for, and that is Kyle Larson of 42 Chevrolet. He has been great throughout this weekend. He was 2nd fastest in first practice, 6th fastest in second practice, 4th fastest in happy hour, and qualified 3rd for this race. Shows he has a very strong race car. Now, the driver that you should be careful of picking, might shock you, Jimmie Johnson, the 48 car. The reason, yes, he's a 12-time winner at Dover. Yes, he's the most winningest driver at that racetrack. But I mean, look at his stats. I mean, you can see here. I mean, yes, third fastest in the first practice section, but then 19th fastest in second. Yes, he was 2nd fastest in happy hour, but he qualified 17th, deep in the back of in the middle of the field. And also add the fact that Hendrick Motorsports as a whole has not had the speed that they did at the start of the season, or even as of late. They have been horrible. You know, I mean, yeah, Chase Elliott, well, let's get into Chase Elliott. I mean, he did cheat at Chicagoland, but we just haven't seen the speed from Hendrick Motorsports. We've seen it from Larson, but we haven't seen it from Johnson, Earnhardt, Elliott, or Kane at all. So, I don't know. He's a driver that I think you should look out for, but be careful of picking if you're going to use him in one of your draft picks or whatever. And the dark horse I'm going to be using, Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is Dale Jr.'s final race at Dover. I feel he's going to be a dark horse. He was 12th fastest in the first practice session, 2nd fastest in second practice, however, 28th in happy hour. But, nice run. He qualified 7th for this race. Again, I wouldn't suggest him, but I feel maybe he could spoil the party. Who knows? But I feel like Dale Jr. could be a dark horse in this race. And as we finish the driver's test, head into the starting lineup for today's Apache Warrior 400. Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch, what a surprise. They qualified on the front row. Kyle Larson and Matt Kenseth make it row 2. Daniel Suarez, the highest finishing non-playoff driver, or highest qualified non-playoff driver, in 5th. Danny Hamlin in 6th. Dale Jr. in 7th. Ryan Newman in 8th. Kevin Harvick 9th. Eric Jones in 10th. Then you got Chase Elliott in 11th, Ryan Blaney 12th, Kurt Busch in 13th, Eric Almirola in 14th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 15th, Brad Keselowski 16th, Jimmie Johnson 17th, Joe Logano 18th, Clint Bowyer 19th, and Trevor Bayne rounds out the top 20. Casey Kane in 21st, Chris Buescher 22nd, Austin Dillon 23rd, Danny Kirkpatrick 24th, Paul Menard 25th, Jimmy McMurray, the lowest qualified playoff driver in the field, 26th place. Row 14 contains AJ Allmendinger and David Reagan. Row 15 contains Ty Dillon and Michael McDowell, with Landon Castle and Ross Chastain making it row 16. Cole Witt and Brett Moffitt making it row 17. Timmy Hill and BJ McLeod, so if I don't pronounce that right. Row 19 contains Corey LaJoie and Jeffrey Earnhardt. And running out the field is Reed Sorensen and Matt DiBenedetto. Now, my pick for this race, I mean, how can you not pick him? Martin Truex Jr. I feel like that Toyota dominance is still going to continue. Either Truex or Kyle Busch is going to win this race most likely. The only way that maybe another driver would win is if these guys get taken out like what happened at Indianapolis. But then again, that's what made the race actually interesting to watch. Okay, so Truex, Busch, wreck, so the race can be interesting. No, I don't want that to happen. But yeah, I feel like Truex will be able to will win this race. If not, then it'll be Kyle Busch and Truex will finish in second. I mean, that's how it's been this playoffs season so far. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this NASCAR and MDK Prerace show. Finally, I'm back with another one from Dover. Guys, tell me guys what you think about it. Leave a like, subscribe for more. But until next time, sit back, relax, and enjoy the 2017 Apache Warrior 400, where 4 drivers will be done at Dover. But until next time, this is Jack Krause, and I will see you in the next video.